This is a meeting for our Justice Center expansion, November 3rd, 2023. The time is 2:13 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. In attendance are Commissioners Brooks, Matari, and Duncan. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
All right. Hearing none, I'll call for public comment. Okay. None. Our one item is interior finish options and selection for the Justice Building expansion. And Ken or Ben, who's going to lead us?
Well, I'll go first.
Okay, and then I think we just need to make sure the microphone picks you up.
Okay. So the point of the meeting today is to go through the interior finish option schemes, right? We have two different kind of color schemes. Scheme A on this part of the table and Scheme B on this part. And the best way to take a look at what is where is to come up and see how they're labeled. This all coordinates with the floor plans, and if you're looking at an accent paint number, whether you're looking at it on the screen or if you share these floor plans with the departments, that's how it correlates. So if you're looking at, well, where is your floor, and look at the different highlights on the floor plan of where those different accent colors would be. And the patterns on the floor correlate to the pattern, and it has a little number where it says, CT1 or CPT3, which will go to these schemes here. So you can see, oh, the carpet in my office where I'm going to be is this carpet, and this paint is over here on this opposite wall. That's really kind of the point of the presentation, just to discuss where those materials are. I know you all can't see here, but it is kind of organized as a bathroom break room here, and accent paints, back of house carpet, staff restrooms, the general wall paint, and then into main corridor, entry lobby tile, public restroom tile, public and judge tile accents, general wall paint, door frame colors, lobby tile and stair treads, courtroom casework and countertops, and a little casework accent metal piece. So, and we sent you those plans earlier, and you did exactly what our intent of sending those early was, to look at those two and pick materials that maybe you wanted from, you were swaying one direction, but you didn't like something on this one, and you swapped, or said, what about this one over here? Which I think that you have done. Both of these schemes really are the same price, and Boughton has kind of vetted that there's not one that's more expensive than the other. They both fit in the budget currently. So I guess if you have specific questions of what is where or anything else, it's really just kind of looking, and like you've done already, looking at the bigger pieces of carpet and matching them up with what their locations and.
Yeah. And I think, as you noted, Commissioner Duncan, that they look way different in person than they did on the screen. So the encouragement would be to come up and touch and feel and see them in real life versus on the screen. So.
Yeah. Were there deductive alternates that you wanted to go over, or are we too early?
No, we can do that. The deductive alternates pretty much are for the main floor public area. Can you go to the next page down? Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah, so that second floor right there currently is a ceramic tile floor, and also on the main entry level. And a deductive alternate is to change that into, this area right here. So this is the second floor, courts floor. It's good to have this as a more hard ceramic tile kind of floor. It's more durable and it looks more stately. A deductive alternate would be to change that into, I think it's a vinyl floor. Yeah.
Do we know about what that would save?
I don't know what that number is. Do you remember?
I'll give you a minute. I can
Okay.
Thanks, Craig.
So we have already gone through a couple different meetings with Boughton to go over cost reductions on materials in certain areas. Example would be, we had a lot more woodwork in the courtrooms, and that wasn't fitting in budget, so we reduced some of that woodwork and really focused that on the judge's bench and kind of behind the judge's bench. And we also had a solid surface countertop and switched that to a more plastic laminate, like your counters here, I think, are those wood. Yeah, like a laminate like that, which is the this countertop and casework right here would be the judge's bench.
Right.
So we've gone,
This thing out at the end here, Ken, on this side of the table, would that be the bigger piece?
yeah.
Okay.
The casework,
Yeah.
this little piece right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another option that we did, and I believe it was because of the budget conscious kind of stuff, was to, in the gallery spaces in the courtroom, in that back house public area, is switch that from carpet to LVT. So
Yeah.
that, I think both for, snow, wet boots coming in, watching court, it's a little more cleanable,
Okay.
but also a little more cost conscious.
Yeah, we did have the comment from the courts that they have had spills and stuff in the gallery before, and switching to a vinyl tile in that public area not only saved cost, but it's going to help maintenance and clean up as well.
Just curious, does it affect, can you slip on that more?
They all are commercially rated for the slip resistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even all the tiles and stuff. Typically, your wall tile is smoother, but floor tile is manufactured so that it meets the required slip resistance.
Yeah, I was just referring to the vinyl versus the carpeting.
Yeah, vinyl will be a little slippier than carpet for sure.
Okay.
And all of these carpets are, of course, commercial grade carpets that are stain resistance and stain blockage, so they don't, they have certain backings on them where they don't soak down back into it and get underneath the carpet. They all stop and are able to be easily cleaned and vacuumed and all that.
And they're all the modular
Tiles.
carpet
Yeah.
tiles, or
Perfect.
replace one when something happens to it.
Okay. Great. Let's see, was there another question?
Just out of curiosity, on the foyer areas, do they have good places where people can kind of, whatever sediment is on their feet will be kind of taken off? I figured they would, but
Would you go to the one page up? So this designation right here, the main entry, is a walk-off mat, and we've actually brought that a little bit farther into the space to line up with the control joint of the foundation. So as well, you can see it's here, and I believe on the first floor in this main area. And that walk-off mat is a more durable, abrasive carpet material, basically. And the rule of thumb is a good 10 feet cleans off
most.
pretty much everything, that you're outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this was sent to all the stakeholders. I guess, was it this week or last week? I don't remember when it was sent, but I did have Judge Meyer come upstairs on Wednesday, and we kind of went through both color schemes, and we'd kind of talked a little bit with my staff as well to kind of go like, A seemed a little bit warmer, and they consider that the lake version. And then the mountain version was B, and that was a little bit more institutional. And I think based on the judge's remarks, we kind of want something that is serious, that you take, where you're at seriously, but yet it was warm enough where you didn't feel like it was institutional, if that makes sense. And some of the pictures didn't do the carpet justice because it looked really busy in the pictures, but coming in person, it doesn't look so busy anymore. So those were the kinds of things that we had talked about. So I haven't received any comments from anyone else. So that's kind of, I guess, where we're at right now, unless somebody has a different thought on that one. And Carlene, did you get the pictures?
Yes, I got the pictures.
Okay. Do you have any comments or thoughts?
No, my concern always is, obviously, how are we going to keep it clean? Are they going to be carpet squares? What happens if when they get destroyed and things like that? The carpets themselves, because they are a little darker, are they going to show dirt? Is that going to kind of make them look dirtier, or my view of the picture, it looks black and gray.
Right. In person,
White is it?
right. In person, it doesn't seem so because of the pattern. Seems to hide pretty well, like the carpet that's already in like 1A and 1B. And so, in person is completely different, let me tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, so there will be carpet tiles. They will be commercial grade, easy to clean, easy to replace.
Perfect.
That's all, should alleviate those concerns. So,
And is it the lots that were chosen? Are they going to be available for years for us to go and pick more? Are we going to have some extra tiles on hand?
So when each of these materials comes through as a submittal, Boughton has in their trailer a whole wall where they're going to put up those finishes that are able to view all times.
okay. But then to Carlene's point, down the road, I mean, if we do choose that particular carpet, are the tiles going to be available for a certain, 10 years or 15 years?
There's
The
no
life of the
guarantee
carpet.
of that.
Okay.
But what we do is in the specifications, we call out for the contractor to provide a certain number of boxes of overstock.
Oh, okay.
So say for each one of these colors, we say, okay, you provide 5 boxes of overstock so that you have replacement for a few years.
What do you consider the
Okay.
appropriate age carpet, life of a carpet would be
Yeah.
commercial?
Well, it depends on how the wear and tear, right, that it gets. But I think they all have about 10-year warranties on them from the manufacturer, yeah.
10 years?
Yeah. Not saying like at 10 years they start falling apart, because they, of course, would not.
I've seen commercial carpets fall apart much quicker than 10 years.
Yeah. Then they should be replaced because they're under warranty.
Can I also ask a question about what type of glue is going to be used to put down the carpet tiles? Is it going to be like a hyperallergenic? Is it one that is going to be very stinky in the beginning and kind of taper off?
They are not glued down. They have their own a kind of sticky back. So there's
Okay.
nothing that they put down on the ground that it is, really adhered. So once they're put down, they're pretty stable, but they are, I'm not going to say fairly easy to pull up, but it takes a bit.
But new carpet generally off gases for a while.
Yeah. And a lot of the materials that we are specifying are low VOC materials from the manufacturer. And most of them are really kind of made that way. The same with the paints. We have that in our
Okay.
specs.
Okay. Great. Bruce, did you have something?
No, I think we should have enough overstock on the carpet tiles that covers the high traffic areas for sure.
And paint and ceiling tiles.
Yes,
Uh,
because they do discontinue that stuff over time.
yeah.
Rubber base seems to change colors a little bit too.
You know, the only other thing is I see pictures with the blue tones of blue, and then all the samples are largely shades of gray with black. Is there any ideas of maybe having different color schemes on different floors, or is that really just up to the stakeholders, do you think?
It kind of is that way now, kind of different schemes on,
Okay.
on each floor, because there's a courtroom feel and a public area feel and a back of house, staff kind of scheme. And those are laid out here.
Okay.
So the decision we have before us today is, what are we picking? So that's kind of where I've leaned towards A. I don't know if anybody in the audience wanted to chime in at this point, but
And to go with that, we fully realize this is the first time you guys are seeing these, so these
Yeah.
are totally meant to throw darts at, pick out what you don't like, what you do like. You know,
Sure.
This is our interpretation of what we think would look good in there, but if you have different ideas, it's your building, you know.
yeah. So I guess the only thing that in my mind would be the carpet still, because the pictures were busy on both A and B, but in person, they look like they may not be as busy. So that's the only question I have on my mind is which direction to go on those.
When is the fine?
Can I,
Go ahead.
Oh, Carlene?
I'm sorry. I just have a question. Which is A and which is B in the carpet?
The A is the black with the gray through it, and then the
Okay.
B is more light toned and gray.
Okay, yeah, okay. Thank you.
And what's the final date that these have to be specified in terms of? the
That was
carpet?
my question.
Well,
I mean, they don't have to be specified today, do they?
That's what he would like.
Well, I would like that too if I were you, but
yeah, so we're at 90% construction documents yesterday, and our 100% is on the 22nd.
I have a problem with that.
So anytime within the next, let's say, 4 days, so that we can finish our drawings with all of that stuff, and Boughton can get all the final information to their subcontractors to get their final prices of everything for the final budget
Who's
presentation.
the
to you all.
subcontractor on the floor covering?
I don't know.
It'll be a bid,
A bid.
yeah, we'll bid it out.
Hasn't been determined yet.
Correct.
And is that for calendar days or business days?
Well, what would you like?
Well, you're the one who used 4, so I'm just trying to clarify that.
Business days,
Oh, okay. So that would be
mid
basically
next week.
Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so do I hear then nobody's ready to put a stake in the ground? Because I'm pretty comfortable looking at this stuff now, but
Well,
if you need more.
I'm fine with whatever the stakeholders want, because they're the ones that live with it. So I'm more averse to wanting to make a decision for them if they have some particular preference.
Sure.
I guess Caitlin, Joy, did you guys send it out to the stakeholders, or was it
Uh-huh.
Caitlin? Did you receive any feedback from anybody?
Nope.
We never got it, so.
Okay, I think it went to Jennifer, so I'm not sure who.
We can give you the list. Who it was sent out to.
Okay.
And you had mentioned about the samples going with you when you leave.
Can you push your
Oh,
button? And Ben, you too, when you get ready to speak again, so.
you had mentioned about taking the samples with you when you leave, but it seems that there may be some potential need for stakeholders to at least touch and feel. And is there any way that they could be left for the 4 days that you're looking to have a decision? So then that way, when people do make a decision, they actually have the Is that possible? Okay, that's my question.
Yeah, I'd say it's possible. These are just our samples from the office that we want to keep with the project together. So as long as we can take them back at some point.
I mean, if that could be left maybe in the back of the room or something, and people could look at it, or take
Or
it
upstairs
upstairs.
in the boardroom.
Because I
Yeah.
like what you did here with the, get this piece from that scheme over here. and
Yeah.
To kind of go through the stakeholders with those options for sure.
Yeah, and I suppose too, if the stakeholders, if you're all right with us keeping that, they can go and see the different things, so,
Because if you're leaning this way, we can go back and start doing the drawings this way, and then just switch a couple of these items so that we're making forward progress.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
I think that would work good.
All right, and then I'm flying down to Boise December 6th. So if that's not too late to get your stuff back to you, I'll bring it. Or if you need it back, then we'll make arrangements to get it back before then. Because I don't know, Carlene, you might be back here and back to Boise before I go in December, right?
You don't want to fly with all this stuff, though.
Oh.
Just ship it.
I will
Yeah,
be
just
back
ship it.
on Friday, and then I'm leaving again, and I will be back in Boise. I believe it's November 28th and 29th, and then I'll be back in Coeur d'Alene for good.
Okay. All right. So I don't know what works for you guys as far as, I mean, for me, I just really kind of need the carpet, and Judge Meyer is actually here. She's just in court right now. And so she would be able to look at that today. And then I don't know about, Stan or whatever. But yeah, I know that the EOs did get the
Yeah,
information. So
yeah, we can leave it or lay it out on a couple tables in the back for however long you need.
yeah. So
Well, you need a decision next week, so that's how long it'll be out, and then we'll just ship it to you or something.
Yeah.
We could communicate to the stakeholders that it's available for them to view, and that if they would be kind enough to then let us know which they were leaning towards, and then have that be a summary, and then provide that to the board, so then that way you could provide direction, if you'd like it to do it that way.
yeah. And then, I mean, we'll have what Judge Meyer had already suggested up there as well. So, yeah,
By Thursday, is that when you do that?
yeah, Wednesday or Thursday. So, I don't even know at that point does it need to be an open meeting again, or is it just something that we have agreed? I don't have a lawyer here, so I
I
don't know.
think if we could provide direction to the selection with the understanding that maybe carpet might be one that you are determining that may be left to be said, if that's what I'm hearing is the direction. I don't know if that adequately represents the direction. Everyone has received, except I think some may not have received it. We'll have to figure out. But everyone has received it, so we haven't received anything back. But we can, again, mention that we have samples and that we need to have an answer by Thursday.
Or Wednesday.
Or Wednesday,
So we
yeah.
can get it to them by Thursday.
Sure,
so.
Wednesday. And then you spoke with Judge Meyer, so did she give you a direction in terms of what she liked?
Yeah, so the forms that we actually had, we printed all
Perfect.
the stuff out. Yeah, and we went and cut and pasted and did all that. So she's in agreement with the documents that LCA has right now. So, so Ken, are you all right if we keep those? Or I guess we can probably make a copy for you.
Yeah, and I can take pictures of them.
Okay.
So, just as easy, so.
Okay. Yeah, either way, or we can scan them or however works for you. But yeah, so I think you guys are staying the night tonight, right? So staff can get you that then before you leave. So, okay. Anything else? Anything else? Nope, you're good? Okay?
Craig,
Any-
do you have any?
Yeah.
So on the ceramic tile versus LVT pricing, we haven't priced that yet, but what we decided to do when we met last was keep ceramic tile as the base bid and then price LVT as a deductive alternate and get that number on bid day so we could make a decision based on budget and
That makes sense.
where
Right.
we are at the end of bid.
Okay. All right, great. So I don't know if you followed what Craig was saying, but he's going to bid it as the tile and LVT, and then when the bids come back, we'll say, we'll get prices for both, and we'll decide what we want to do. So, okay, yes?
So do the samples show a difference between the ceramic and the LVT? You know what I mean? So
The
we
vinyl.
can see what it look, would the
Yeah,
look
do you-
different when they look
Do you
at
want to
it?
point those out?
Is crossing paths, grills, shops, out those.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, right, while they're right here pointing it out, you can do that. Yeah.
Don't know if the LVT is on here. But it would be color-wise, probably similar. Yeah, product-wise, it would be pretty similar
they
This
to
is
that.
alternate number 2 for CT one.
Okay,
Yeah.
yep, so that would be it.
Instead of ceramic tile.
Yeah, instead of that one,
Yep.
right? That one right there.
And the difference, the way, let
That color,
me see that, Ken.
that's kind of what we have in our courtroom now, just.
So the difference from what area, because Corey had mentioned that there's VCT in the existing lobby, and that tile is the same color all the way through. So when it scratches, you don't ever, it's the same color. How they make it now is there's a layer on top, and then once you scratch through that, it goes to the white. And that's what you'll see. Is the
All right,
white.
I'm going to call for public comment one more time, and then everybody's welcome to stay with Ken and Ben and go through this stuff. So, public comment?
I do. I have a problem with the commissioners being involved in this level of minutia. I mean, this is what you guys do, not whether I like this blue or that. I just think that's a waste of our time. And I wouldn't trust anybody up here to be picking carpet and floor covering.
Well, that's unfortunate, and I feel the exact opposite, but
Pardon?
that's okay. I said I feel the exact opposite. I think it's something that, with the stakeholders' input, that is something that needs to be picked. This is going to last 20 years, 10 years if the carpet goes out in 10 years, but I think it's important to have that information, and we have people here at the county who has an eye for this, so involving them is helpful, and we'll make a decision next week. Okay.
They should be working for color tile instead of the county.
All right, with that, it is 2:41.